The National Electrical Code (NEC) does not explicitly prohibit the use of non-metallic sheath cable, often referred to as NM cable, more than 3 stories above grade. The misconception about the 3-story limitation may stem from older codes or industry standards, but it is not a current enforced restriction by the NEC. However, it is crucial to carefully review and adhere to all applicable NEC requirements for NM cable installation, regardless of the building height. Article 334.15 C of the NEC provides important information. This section specifies where NM cable is not permitted. It states that NM cable shall not be used in damp or wet locations or where exposed to corrosive vapors. Understanding these limitations is essential for ensuring safe and compliant installations. In areas where dampness, moisture, or corrosive vapors are present, alternative wiring methods such as conduit with appropriate conductors should be considered. These alternative methods provide enhanced protection against environmental factors that could degrade the NM cable and compromise its performance or safety. When installing NM cable, it's important to follow all the manufacturer's instructions and recommended practices. The manufacturer provides guidance on proper cable support, bending radii, and other critical installation details. Proper support is important to prevent excessive stress on the cable, while maintaining the correct bending radii helps to avoid damage to the conductors or insulation. Securely fastening the NM cable at appropriate intervals along its run is also important. This helps to minimize movement and prevent potential damage from abrasion or other physical forces. Furthermore, ensure that the cable is adequately protected from physical damage during and after installation. This may involve using conduit or other protective measures in areas where the cable is exposed to potential hazards. Considering the environmental conditions and potential risks when selecting and installing NM cable will ensure a safe and reliable electrical system. Regarding service entrance riser cable, or SER cable, the NEC does not impose any specific restrictions on the vertical height for SER cable runs. Therefore, there is no code-based reason that prevents the use of SER cable on the 4th floor. However, it is generally recommended to consult the cable manufacturer's instructions for specific guidelines on allowable run lengths and cable support requirements. The manufacturer's instructions may provide valuable information on maximum vertical rise, cable support spacing, and other factors that can affect the cable's performance and longevity. Understanding these guidelines is important to ensure that the SER cable is installed properly and will operate safely and reliably over its intended lifespan. One consideration when running SER cable vertically is voltage drop. Voltage drop occurs when the voltage at the end of a long cable run is lower than the voltage at the source. This can be caused by the resistance of the cable conductors and the current flowing through them. Excessive voltage drop can lead to reduced equipment performance, overheating, and other problems. To mitigate voltage drop, it may be necessary to use a larger conductor size or run multiple cables in parallel. The NEC provides guidelines for calculating voltage drop and selecting appropriate conductor size. These guidelines can be found in Article 215.2 A2, which discusses feeders, and Article 310.15, which covers ampacity. These tables and calculations help ensure that the voltage drop remains within acceptable limits. Ensuring proper cable support is also crucial. Securely fastening the SER cable at appropriate intervals along its vertical run prevents excessive sagging and strain on the conductors. The NEC specifies the maximum spacing between cable supports in Article 338.3. These requirements help ensure that the cable is adequately supported and protected from physical damage. In addition to following the NEC and manufacturer's instructions, it's always a good practice to consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer. These professionals can provide valuable insights and guidance on specific installation requirements and best practices. They can also help identify potential hazards and ensure that the electrical system complies with all applicable codes and standards. Therefore, both NM cable and SER cable can be used to supply apartments on the 4th floor, provided that they are properly installed and protected from damage. The absence of explicit height restrictions in the NEC for both NM and SER cables allows for their use in various building configurations. However, it is essential to adhere to all other applicable NEC requirements, manufacturer's instructions, and industry best practices to ensure a safe and compliant electrical system. Always prioritize safety and compliance when working with electrical systems. If you have any doubts or questions, consult with a qualified electrical professional before proceeding with the installation. This will help ensure that the electrical system is safe, reliable, and compliant with all applicable codes and standards.